Welcome back to the Breachers VRML. Wow, that was very, very loud. Apologies for my loud microphone. My name is Gibular Bob. I'll be your host tonight for this incredible matchup between Blaze EU and Velocity eSports, the number 1 EU team against the number 2 EU team. Been a little while since we've been on the EU scene here, but this is a big matchup between these two teams. And if we take a look at our matchup page here, Blaze EU, record of 6-4-1 with 60% of their games this season being victories. Velocity eSports, you might also have known them as Revolt. They went through a bit of a rebrand, have a 10-1, 91% of their games they have won in a previous encounter. Between these two teams, Velocity eSports won that 14-4, and before that, I believe Velocity eSports, which at the time was Revolt, beat Wolfpack EU, Blaze EU, which at the time was Wolfpack EU. So both these teams have undergone a bit of a rebrand, so it should be interesting to see who walks away as the winner of tonight's matchup. Currently, the team's still getting into the lobby there, but good evening to everybody who's in the EU. Good afternoon to everybody who's watching from the NA. Yeah, big matchup between these two teams. Of course, the number 1 and number 2 who are both competing for that gunskin. I don't think a loss would throw either one of these teams out of the gunskin range, but I mean, certainly Velocity eSports going to want to keep up a very, very impressive 10-1 streak. I mean, we see their team. They've got, VR Floopy, Huckman, Ransix, Void, Yo on to go, Ollie, Superman, and Wonder If, I think that's Hazel. I don't know. They've changed their names in game. So, solid lineup for Velocity. Very solid one for Blaze EU as well. I mean, we've seen both of these teams. I've seen both of them play. They're two very solid teams. They've had some very good plays. So it's certainly going to be an exciting matchup here in Season 1, Week 12. Can you believe that we're getting towards the end of the regular season? Actually, next week, Week 13, the final week of the regular VRML season. And don't forget, if you are looking for a team, or if you're a team looking for players, roster lock is going to be on Monday. So, make sure you're getting your players in before you run out of time while we're waiting for the teams to get in to the lobby here and get ready to play. Let me see here. Kane Rip, what's going on? How's it going? Legolo, good luck. Clang, good. Well, I guess you're here to watch, but yeah, time to rock. We'll see which team is going to walk out of here the winner. And of course, big thank you to our sponsors of the VRML, starting off with Triangle Factory, the developers of Breachers. If you're unfamiliar with Breachers VR, it's often thought of as the Rainbow Six Siege of VR, and Triangle Factory are their developers. They are also contributing a wonderful amount to our prize pool, now over $9,000 in cash and hardware. They're also contributing 2 gun skins to the Breachers VRML, one that you can purchase for credits when it comes out. The second you will be able to earn if you're in the top 8 of each region. So the way that's going to work is you'll have the top 7 teams, and then the Challenger Cup, which will take place in January past the holidays, will be the determining factor for that final team in each region. So, it should be interesting to see how that goes. But big thank you to Triangle Factory. Of course, we'd like to thank Exclaim, which offers custom VRML merch, and you can sell your team's gear through Exclaim to tap into a whole new level of fan engagement. I saw a GIF in the general chat of the VRML Discord server, with some team merchandise in there, and wow, it was pretty neat. So make sure you check them out, and if you're interested in an exclusive store-wide discount while supporting the league, consider affiliating with the VRML via Exclaim. Of course, we'd also like to thank Pro2VR for providing the best VR rifle mounts and accessories, and you can help stabilize your aim in-game by picking up some of their products, and we really appreciate them contributing to the league with a variety of products ranging from Beat Saber to joystick mounts. Pro2VR is your one-stop shop for controller peripherals. We'd also like to thank HyperX, again, another contributor to the prize pool there. You can get 15% off MRSP of a fully priced HyperX products in North America using code HXVRML23. And HyperX also supports the VRML casting team with some very, very nice products. If you've ever heard Nightfire, our casting production manager over here at the VRML, he uses those HyperX products, so big thanks to HyperX. Of course, we'd like to thank Helga, the manager bot, which helps with availability, scheduling, communication with opponents, and statistical analysis. And if you want to get started, you can join their Discord linked in the chat or on the VRML Breachers/Onward website. And finally, last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank VR Cover for offering high-quality hygiene and comfort solutions for popular headsets. VR Cover's face covers greatly enhance the comfort of any VR device, allowing you to play in VR comfortably for longer. And you can use code VRCoverQ3 for a discount on Quest 3 products. So big thank you to all of our sponsors. We're just still waiting on the teams. One more from Velocity eSports. Let's see. Okay, first map. Looks like they are getting ready to vote. Now, let's actually take a look at the matchup page one more time here. I mean, best map for Velocity eSports, mamma mia, is Hideout. Look at that, 101 rounds played, 73% of those won. So I'm not sure right now who is the home team in this exchange. We shall find out. It is going to be Blaze EU, so they get to pick the first map. It could be, I mean, we could see Skyscraper or Factory. I would guess it's probably going to be Factory, as they have 61% of their rounds won there. And, you know, it's 1% less than Skyscraper, and they've played 97 rounds there. You know, Velocity going to go with Hideout, definitely. I think Hideout is a map that you see, you'll probably see it in most of these games. It's just a map that the teams know quite well, so I'm sure we'll see that probably as map 2. Okay, we have everybody in here. Nope, still waiting on one more, but map 1 is going to be Skyscraper. So I was completely wrong, because you could see Skyscraper is, you know, 21 rounds played by Blaze EU, 62% of their rounds won there. So maybe they found some success with that map. So definitely, I mean, you know, if Blaze EU starts off on Skyscraper, my guess, yeah, it looks like Velocity are going to start off on defense. So, I mean, really, if we're talking about Skyscraper and a defender advantage, could Blaze EU have difficulty beating Velocity eSports? I mean, realistically, if Velocity has a really, really good defensive half, you know, Blaze EU would need to pick up maybe a round or two in order to give themselves enough padding heading into the second half to bring it back. Best caster NA. I appreciate that, Tiger Claw. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how Blaze EU are going to play this. I think it seems like my mic is still a little bit too loud. Anybody in the chat, if it's too loud, just let me know, okay? I don't want to make everybody in the stream deaf. Yeah, but okay, do we have everybody in here? No, still waiting on one more from Velocity. Getting down to the end of the waiting phase. Best caster. Thanks, Legolo. Okay. All right, and we are going to get, oh my goodness, Velocity Esports. They are starting a player down. Goodness. As we get into the first, there we go. Okay, as we get into the first round of this game here on Skyscraper. Give me 20 bucks and I'll say WCast. Usually it works the other way around, where you donate to the stream and then you can go on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Toxic. So taking a look at the starting eco from Blaze EU: 2 Spectrals, 2 Cyclones, and a Jesper. Velocity: 2 Spectrals and 2 Jespers. Now starting off, a whole player down is VRFloopy taking out Peter. Sites are going to be Storage and Green Room, as we see Beaver Bells making entry along with Mr. Tabs over by the North Stairs. Here comes the drone from Blaze EU. VRFloopy and Huckman watching out the same storage door, just looking for Blaze EU. Here comes Mr. Tabs tossing a grenade into the back of Site A. That's going to tag Huckman. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for Blaze EU to get their plan together. We see Superman joining the battle on the flank. There's Huckman finding Mr. Tabs with that Spectral. Huckman looking for another kill as Superman will get some shots off there. Beaver Bells finding a kill on VRFloopy. VRZida taking a Huckman as Huckman finds 1 on Hyper with a frag, 2 on VRZida with a trip mine, and it's now just a 2 versus 2 as Red Nose Rise looks to put the EMP into storage. Ran 6 getting ready on the swing there with that Spectral, finding a very nice angle on Rise, and it's now just down to Beaver Bells, who Superman is about to swing on. A very nice swing from Superman to give Velocity their first round. And what a tremendous opening by Velocity Esports. Apologies for the bit of stream lag. I'm not sure what is killing my my bit rate here. Oh, you're talking about Anomalous. Okay. All right. So, VRF. I keep calling them VRF. I'm so sorry. VRF was the team that Floopy came from that merged with Revolt to create Velocity Esports. But they did an excellent job of kind of retaking the site there. Huckman with an amazing defense of that site there, finding 2, one with the frag, the other with the trip mine, picked up another one with a Spectral. So Velocity putting in the work here, as we see Beaver Bells right outside of the B2 lounge with that Spectral. Velocity picking up 2 round 2 Vezins. Bot Peter with the Huracan. And of course, when you have a bot on your team, you can't control what they buy. But Huckman finding a very nice pick on Beaver Bells, finding a double on Mr. Tabs. Very, very nice flick. A grenade tossed out. That'll find Hyper. What a solid frag from VRFloopy. Here comes Zida going into the bathrooms hallway. Red Nose Rise makes their way into bathroom right now as we see Huckman finding the kill on VRZida. That's another kill for Huckman, who's just been on fire. And here's Rise having to rotate out of the bathroom. Let's turn on the outlines there so we can see where Rise makes entry. It's in the lower lounge. It was Rise Optimal's birthday last weekend. Tell him happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to Rise Optimal. This joke is never gonna leave me alone. Seems like every weekend is Rise Optimal's birthday, but look at that. An impressive tuck from Superman. I don't know who Superman is at the moment, which Velocity player, that switched their name, but an impressive start from Velocity as they are just kind of cleaning up here in the first half. But this is Blaze EU's Vezin full buy round, so we'll see if they can change up the pace of this combat. Again, when you start on the offense, you have a much more difficult time winning rounds here. Skyscraper is a bit of a defense-sided map. As we see Red Nose Rise, Beaver Bells outside a lower lounge right now. Let's take a look at that scoreboard really quick. We won't be able to keep it up for too long. I've been trying to practice when to put down the scoreboard so that I don't accidentally leave it up for an entire round. But we see Mr. Tabs, Beaver Bells opening up Lobby Lounge. Ran 6 will find Beaver Bells. Mr. Tabs will exchange for a kill on bot Peter. So a bit better for Velocity as they only lost their bot. They didn't lose an actual player on their team. See Ran 6 getting tagged a bit in the window on the lower lounge. Mr. Tabs trying to find those shots. Won't quite. He's rotating around on the catwalk. Just kind of sticking around that window there. Superman finding the kill on VR Zeta. There's the hatch play onto site B management. Huckman waiting in the back of the site. That static field emitter might create problems for Blaze EU if they don't shoot it out, although they do have a pretty good angle on it. We saw Superman picking up a very nice pick on VR Zeta. And at this point, Blaze EU are just looking for Superman. We see Mr. Tabs finding a kill on Ran 6 as Red Nose Rise makes their way into the green room. Superman making their way downstairs to lobby, now over by Lobby Lounge where Mr. Tabs and Hyper are waiting. Superman with one flank kill. Can Superman pick up a second? Looking to rotate back up to the green room, but a very, very solid flank from Superman, who's done an excellent job of softening up this Blaze EU offense. It's now just down to Red Nosed Rise and Hyper, who are the only two Blaze EU members standing on their full buy round. The names aren't on the right side. Very, very good point, Legolo. It's always something that gets me, you know. We see Hyper finding a very nice kill on VR Fluvius. Huckman taking out Red Nose Rise. Hyper finding Huckman, and Superman closing things off with a refrag on Hyper to give Velocity eSports their third round in a row. So here's the hat trick from Velocity, and they're doing an excellent job so far of just keeping Blaze EU off of the site for as long as possible. Superman, of course, on the flank there, softening up the team. What is the next play for Blaze EU? I mean, what do you do here? They don't have the money to full buy Vezins. We see Beaver going for that half buy on a Viper. Hyper picking up an Auril. Auril is in kind of a difficult position in the meta, as you know, it's more expensive than like an RCP, which people often think of as a better counterpart to the Auril. We'll see if Hyper can pick up a kill there with the Auril, but it's just difficult at the moment to find that use, you know, of an Auril. You know, you can't get as much out of it as you can with a Vezin, and it's more expensive than an RCP. And what a beautiful kill that was on Mr. Tabs by Ran 6. You just have to be so careful. Hyper finding the kill on Superman. That's a good start for Blaze EU. They've taken out a Velocity player. As we see Beaver via Zyda. Huckman finding one on Beaver Bells. Good watch from the storage door there. Huckman getting lit up by that frag. A second frag as Huckman races back into storage. A very nice, very quick thinking from Huckman there. VR Fluby taking out Hyper. It's now just down to Rise and Zyda, who are both in the upper lounge. They did manage to take out Superman. They still have their work cut out for them here. Zyda tossing that frag. Oh my goodness, how unlucky is that it doesn't take out that static field emitter. Red Nose Rise with that cloaking device, just waiting for a Velocity player to get potentially a little bit too antsy. But it is not going to happen. Huckman now moving over to the breach, and really, Blaze is going to have to push in here. VR Floopy looking for some shots there, finding the kill on Red Nose Rises. It's now just down to VR Zyda, the last Blaze EU player standing. Zyda just has to watch both of these doors in the upper lounge. There's a minute left on the clock. Zyda doesn't have the EMP, so you have to wonder, maybe you just take this Vezin and escape the building. Don't go for the static field emitter. That seems like the worst thing to do right now. VR Floopy ends things off with a kill on VR Zyda. Tremendous round from VR... I keep wanting to call him VRF. A tremendous round from Velocity once again, as they have a 4-0 lead over Blaze EU in this first half. 2 rounds until the halftime round, and Velocity could potentially pick up a 6-0 first half lockout. They're in snowball territory right now, which is, when Velocity has so much money that even killing their team isn't doing enough damage to their economy. They just have, enough to completely recover from it. Blaze is on another full buy round, but they're going to have to find some kind of momentum here. Two sick players, 2 unavailable players. Oh, man. That's rough. But, Velocity, this really shows they're a top, EU team, because they're able to hold their own and actually find a lot of success, even with only 4 players. So it's unfortunate that they weren't able to get a 5th in here today, though. It's always fun to watch Velocity play, Blaze EU play. We don't see enough of the EU here. So I like to pick up these games every so often so that people can know what's happening over here. Oh, man, not a good frag. From Rise, who's about to walk right into a trip mine. Beaverback, no way! Huckman finding a tremendous trip mine as Mr. Tabs now moving into bathroom. Bot Peter just in the vent there, getting some shots, looking to get some shots off on Hyper, but Mr. Tabs will pick that up. Huckman with an amazing shot placement will take out Mr. Tabs through that bathroom wall. It's now just down to Hyper and VR Zyda. Zyda dropping 2 from that bathroom hallway wall. Superman dropping Zyda, and it's now a 1 versus 2 down to Hyper, who is into the B2 lounge. Watching that breach there, Superman comes through. Hyper will pick up the kill on Superman. Walks right into Rand 6, though, who closes off this round for Velocity Esports. Gives them a 5-0 lead in this first half. Could I open the scoreboard? I absolutely can, Red. No problem. That trip mine placement from Huckman absolutely devastated the push from Blaze EU. It took out 2 of their players just at the beginning of the round, completely negated the advantage that they had, with the Vezins, and it ultimately really, really hurt their push. They now only have, 2 Vezins, 2 Aurils, and a Spectral, over on Blaze EU. And this is the halftime round. So after this, there's not going to be another opportunity on their offensive half. If they lose this round to Velocity, it's going to be a first half lockout. Okay, there we go. As we see VR Zyda up on the roof along with Red Nose Rise. It looked like they might try the north stairs, but doesn't quite happen. Here comes Mr. Tabs taking out Landonia, a sub that Velocity has picked up as Huckman actually getting tagged through the wall. And look at the shot placement from Huckman. That gave Huckman a free kill last round. VR Floopy this time with an amazing kill as Beaverbell's looking to charge in, finding the kill on Huckman, taking out VR Floopy as Superman finding Zyda. Beaverbell's dropping VR Floopy, and Red Nose Rise will take out Ran 6 as it's now just down to Superman. Huckman finding a kill on Rise from beyond the grave with a trip mine, and it's now down to Superman to 1v2 this. Blaze is better at defense anyways. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, you know, either way, Blaze EU are going to have to pick up this round in order to prevent the first half lockout from Velocity. We see Mr. Tabs tossing a frag grenade. That will tag Superman. He looks to swing in, tries to find a kill on Mr. Tabs, and as a swinger gets swung, but Beaverbells will pick up the kill on Superman to give Blaze EU their first round of the half. There's the replay of that double trip mine. Wow. What an incredible double trip mine. You don't see something like that happen too often. I mean, really, Huckman is doing an excellent job, or did an excellent job, of placing those trip mines in, you know, places that you're going to move, but you wouldn't be expecting one to be in. Who picked the map? It was Blaze. They were the home team. You know, I mean, yeah, it is an interesting choice, to say the least, because if we looked at the matchup, Blaze EU's top map was Skyscraper, but they didn't have the most rounds played on there. I genuinely thought we were going to see Factory, considering it was, you know, it was 62 to 61% with the advantage going to, who was that fifth on Velocity? Landonia. Was that a real player? Or, you know, a sub? Or not sure who that was. Maybe they'll reconnect. I don't know. As we see Superman, VR Floopy, Ran 6 making entry on the south stairs this time. Bob Peter getting hard carried. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's... well, actually, it's now Bot David. They subbed out Peter with David. 2 minutes 15 left on the clock as Velocity making their entrance pretty far away from the site. Huckman just clearing out B2 Lounge. Get them off the team. Well, you know, I mean, Anomalous, everybody's got those off days, you know. I just think Peter's mental wasn't in the game, but they got David now. So maybe David, well, I guess they TK'd David at the beginning of the round. Why does it say Ran 6 on both teams? Does it? Not for me. It says that. Okay, well. Rain is eternal. I guess we'll leave it at that. Superman getting the foam on the conference wall is Beaverbells tucking in that corner by the cabinet. Now Velocity have a minute 20, so they're going to need to pick up the pace on their push here a little bit. Looks like they are just waiting as VR Floopy will open up that conference wall. Excuse me, I think it was Superman that opened up the conference wall. It was. There's the cross, the double fire heading through the partition. They're looking for some players. Mr. Tabs almost getting picked off by Huckman. 50 seconds left on the clock. VR Zyda upstairs. Velocity are running out of time. They're going to need to get into the site and plant the EMP. Beaver Bells does does pick up some damage here. As Red Nose Rise takes out Huckman. Mr. Tabs finding the kill on VR Floopy. It's now a 5 versus 2. If Blaze puts up a really, really good defense, they could potentially go for another 6 rounds and pick up a victory over Velocity. Mr. Tabs finding the kill on Superman. Ran6 looking to find at least a kill for Velocity. Hurt the eco a little bit. Does pick up the kill on Hyper. It's now a 4 versus 1. As Ran6 looking for another kill, picks up a second on Zyda. Almost finds a third on Rise, but that health from Rise really saved them in the end. They were able to find that kill and give Blaze EU their second round. Kabiler's best caster. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Wallbangs are insane. They are. I mean, we've seen just tremendous shot placement from both, from Velocity tonight. I mean, Huckman, that shot through the bathroom wall here, where they picked up a kill, was just incredible. Between the trip mines and the, I'm losing my train of thought. Completely lost my train of thought, but the trips and the wall banks, it's been an incredible first half for Velocity, but starting to lose a bit of their momentum. Of course, that was only the pistol round, on Velocity's offensive half. They only need to pick up 1 round to secure the tie, at least. They need to find 2 in order to go for the win. It's going to be difficult to push with only 4 people. So Velocity are going to need to get creative. They've been incredibly creative on the defense, but they're going to need to be even more creative on the offense if they want to usurp that advantage. We see bot David going around on the catwalk, kind of the wild card. The bots can sometimes pick up a kill here as David looks to swing in. Mr. Tabs will find that kill on David, who just rushed the site. We see Superman upstairs in broadcast right now. VR Zyda will pick up that kill instead, and that's going to hurt Velocity again because it's now a 5 versus 3. And Hyper will recover that RCP from bot David, which is still hurting Velocity eSports here. Let's see. There's the hatch breach onto the B2 lounge. Hyper will find the kill on Ran6. Blazy U not down as much as we thought. It really comes down to the advantage here. Which side plays a better defense? Velocity did an excellent job securing 5 rounds, but it could be bad for this team because they weren't able to find all 6 and secure the lockout heading into the second half. They need to win at least 1 here, which can be very, very difficult, especially if Blaze gets into the snowball territory. Do see Huckman getting ready to drop into the lobby. Only 2 players left on Velocity, and they just don't have enough force to push into these sites right now. They're going up against 2 Vezins, an RCP, and 2 Spectrals. Blazy U doesn't have too much, way too much money right now. But if they pick this round up with all 5 of their players, it's going to be very difficult for Velocity next round. Granted, they will be able to afford Vezins, but it's certainly going to be difficult no matter which way you slice it. We do see Floopy still upstairs in broadcast. Was just looking for some kind of a pick. I wonder if we're going to see Floopy drop into... Floopy just dropping mags in. Is Huckman actually finding the kill on VR Zyda. Mr. Taps will swing VR Floopy to give Blaze EU their third round against Velocity. Let's put up the scoreboard there once again. And Blaze EU looking very, very nice with their eco right now. 4 syringes, 5 Vezins. They've got frags. Now Velocity will have 4 Vezins. They still don't have a 5th, and they weren't able to field a 5th due to some circumstances. Some unfortunate circumstances. And I think this team would be very, very solid if they had that 5th in there. They could be a lot more aggressive with their pushes, but they just can't be as aggressive without that 5th there to cover them. So it's unfortunate, but don't count Velocity out of this just yet. They are still 2 rounds in the lead, and they do have Vezins now. So they could potentially find some success here. What is happening to Huckman there? There's the entry into the upper lounge. Hyper just waiting in the back. Almost will go down. Will almost go down. Beaver Bells finding 1, finding 2. Very solid double kill there. I forgot to put the scoreboard down again. As we see a 3 versus 5. More like a 2 versus 5. The spot David is currently just full sending it. Ran 6 will find the kill on VR Zyda. And really, right now, what Velocity needs to do is play for some picks here. Just let Blaze EU get a little bit aggressive. David looking to head up. Might try the window. There goes Bot David heading into the site. Now sometimes the bots can actually find a great headshot. Here comes Bot David getting there to try to plant the EMP into the site. Beaver Bells will pick up the kill on David, as Floopy and Ran 6 use this as an opportunity to push into the upper lounge, which is smart for Velocity. But Beaver Bells taking out Ran 6. It's now just down to VR Floopy, who's running to get back outside, but Beaver Bells will catch Floopy there. They just weren't able to secure that round. And now Blaze EU 1 round off of Velocity Esports. And we're starting to see why Blaze EU picked up this map, and they chose Skyscraper as their first map, because they probably knew that once they could pick up at least a round over Velocity, they had the rest of this in the bag. Maybe that's why they picked this. They kind of they build up the confidence of the other team, get that final round in there, the 1 round that they need, and then proceed to go absolutely wild on the second half defense. To be fair, it's hard to 1v5 with a 2-shot headshot gun. You were 1 shot. Yeah, absolutely. It was a good attempt from Ran 6, but again, Rise just had more health at that point. Zyda is, in my opinion, the best roamer in EU right now. So hard to play against. Yeah, Zyda's put in a lot of work there. We saw Superman finding some wonderful kills there as the roamer for Velocity, but no, don't kill Bot David. Bot David is trying to escape. They're trying to get David. They were able to get David. No, Beaver found David first, as Huckman salvaging the RCP from Bot David. So now Huckman and Floopy will have, Superman and Floopy will have an RCP. Huckman with the Viper and Ran 6 will have that Vezin. Let's go, Blaze. How's it going, Cooper? The one of the managers for the Eclipse League, which owns the Blaze EU team. We see Superman swinging into the podcast room right now. Might get some damage in with an RCP. I think Red Nose Rise did catch a glimpse of Superman there. He's looking to jiggle peek. Rise picking up the kill on VR Floopy. Superman just going for the prettier RCP, as Huckman will secure that RCP instead of the Viper. Beaver Bells will pick up another kill on Superman. As we see Velocity just kind of stuck in the podcast room right now. Ran 6 does pick up the kill on Mr. Tabs. It's down to Huckman and Ran 6, who's over by North Stairs at the moment. Here's Huckman over in the podcast room. Minute 20 on the clock as Huckman is just kind of caught in the podcast room. We're kind of trapped there, but was able to take out that door blocker. But you saw how close Blazy U was to finding that kill. And really, this shot placement that we're seeing from Blazy U is just as good as what we were seeing from Velocity. Ran 6 will recover the breaching foam, which does give Velocity a bit more of a fighting chance. Remember that if Blazy U does win this round, they will tie it up 5-5, and their eco puts them in a much better position than Velocity. Let's check in with Huckman, who's over in the storage hallway right now. They've got to get that EMP planted in order to give them some time. They're now on the 30-second warning for the round as Ran 6 getting ready to pop open that wall. Was there enough breaching foam on there? There wasn't. There we go. Okay, Ran 6 does get the breaching foam in, but unfortunately, that's going to clue Blazy U into where the push is coming from. Ran 6 looking for some shots. Huckman taking out Beaver Bells as Ran 6 finding the kill on Hyper. It's now just down to VR Zeta. Ran 6 will take out Zeta, but can't get the EMP planted fast enough. No, it won't happen. Ran 6 going down to Rise was just unable to find that last kill. Just not enough time, and an excellent clutch up from Rise there to tie this game between these two teams. Okay, let's see what we've got here. This is going to be, again, the full buy round for Velocity. 3 Vezins and a Cadillo. Bot David going for the RO. Big shout out to everybody who's joining us this afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. If you do enjoy the stream, be sure to like. Already got 8 likes, so big thanks to everybody who is liking the stream. And what a matchup this has been. I don't think anybody was expecting it to go like this. Oh, as Velocity able to pick up Johan to go. And this could be big for this team. They were able to get their 5th. And Johan has that Vezin. VR Zeta upstairs on the roam looking for the kill. Finds the kill, or looking for the kill, finds some damage on Ran 6. Johan to go. Right outside of lobby right now. Looking to rendezvous with the rest of the team. And this 5th player, I wonder, did Johan to go arrive a little bit too late? Or was it just in time to help out Velocity? We see the window actually opened up as Superman finding the kill on VR Zeta. A 5th player does wonders for your team. You have that extra body there to get kills, to execute strategies. And already we're seeing a big improvement in Velocity. They're able to pick up a kill on Blazy U. See Rise tossing an incendiary into the doorways. VR Floopy heading up. Hyper finding the kill on Huckman as Johan to go taking out Hyper, but Mr. Tabs will find the kill on VR Floopy. It's now a 3 versus 3. Ran 6 looking for some shots into offices. Nobody there right now. Superman over in bathroom. Where is Johan to go? Still over by Courtyard. A minute 10 left on the clock, and they don't have the EMP. Mr. Tabs just waiting in the BT lounge, waiting for Superman to swing. He's about to do so, but Superman finding the kill on Mr. Tabs first. As we see Beaver Bells looking to fill that spot. It's now a 2 versus 3, a 2 versus 2. As Red Nose Rise takes out Johan to go, but the ties are still even. As Ran 6 takes out Red Nose Rise. Ran 6 dropping Beaver Bells. And Velocity Esports will pick up match point on map 1. And you see the difference. Once they were able to get their 5th player, it really changed the game for Velocity Esports. They finally had enough players to execute their pushes. Johan also picked up a kill there, so a tremendous effort by these teams. Okay, apologies for that. Just typing a message now. Let's see here. I gotta go play a VRML game. Good luck, Anomalous. Hope you have fun. As we enter into the final round of this game. Lazy U at this point can tie it up. And that's the best they can do for map 1. Velocity can push for victory, in which case we'll head to a second map. But if Blazy U wins this round, we'll be guaranteed a 3rd map here. How they sell a 5-1? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really call it a sell. Wow, what a frag from Rise, taking out VR Flippy, who's dropped the EMP. Although that is a good spot for Velocity. Ran 6 taking out that proximity alarm as Mr. Tabs getting ready to swing. Ran 6 finding that kill. It's now a 4 versus 4. Hyper, Beaver, Rise, all in the back of Mixon right now. It's Hazel taking out VR Zeta. Hazel subbing in for Johan to go. And it's really a team effort here from Velocity. You know, their 5th has changed, I think, 3 times over the course of this game, but it's really taken everybody on the team here to contribute. And an excellent job as we see Hazel, Ran 6 over in podcast along with Huckman. There's the breach on a mixing. Red Nose Rise will take out Hazel. Huckman still in podcast just with that cloaking device. Superman will take out Hyper. It's now a 2 versus 3. Beaver Bell's taking out Superman, gets refragged by Ran 6 as Rise takes out Huckman, and it's now a 1 versus 1. Just like that, it's down to Ran 6 against Rise, who's over in the mixing right now, looking to try the door, but do you risk it? It is so tense right now. Ran 6 looking for Rise. He's about to round the boxes right there. Oh my goodness, this could really go either way. We see they don't want to push that angle, but here's Ran 6 in the sight, looking for the kill on Rise. As long as Ran doesn't make too much noise, they might find the kill here. They will find the kill, and Ran 6 has clutched it up to give Velocity Esports the map 1 win. That was hard fought by Velocity, and it worked out in the end. A great job from these teams. Crush Velocity's morale. They had it in the back. I don't know. You can't really sell here on Skyscraper. They did a very, very good defensive half, but I mean, these teams are really good on the defense here. So it all comes down to, I think just the way they execute their offensive half, and in this case, that's what we saw. A great job from Velocity Esports. They were able to find the 2 rounds that they needed at the end of it, and so great job by these teams. Okay, while we wait to go into the second map, let's put up the matchup page here. If I'm Velocity, I am going to Hideout. That's where I would take this. We'll see what happens in just a moment there. All right. Okay, apologies for the wait, but we are heading into the second map, and this time I've got another caster with me. Say hello to our newest VRML caster, one of our newest VRML casters, Rip the Cord. Rip, you with us?
I am here. Nice to meet you guys. First VRML cast.
Okay, and we are heading into the second map here. Let me see here. Let me get you the the info, the lobby info, so you can see what's happening. Okay. Now, we saw an incredible matchup between these two teams on map 1. Hideout is definitely skewed much more towards Velocity, as they have the better stats here. So, do you think there's an easier side to play on Hideout for a team?
Hideout's usually pretty heavy on defense. It honestly depends on how you play. If the attackers rush in and they go for the fast setup, they can get in there and change the whole game by taking the defense spot after playing the bomb. But defense definitely usually has the upper hand on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Blaze EU moving into the laundry hallway, now over by laundry itself. There's the hatch from below as Mr. Tabs almost drops the frag on himself. Huckman taking out VR Zeta as it's a 3-prong. One from the hatch as Mr. Tabs messes up the frag again. Might get fragged themselves as Hyper taking out Huckman. Superman finding the kill on Hyper as we see a 4 versus 3 right now. Ran6 picking up the kill on Mr. Tabs. Does secure that healing syringe. So not good for Blaze EU as they've lost one of their heals already to Velocity. And I think having an extra support item would really help them out, don't you think, Rip?
Yeah, the support's always going to be a big thing for this game. Being able to get back to full health and join in on a fight, but you're down to 2 players, they're going to play really slow.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely slow down the push here. Superman finding a kill on Beaver Bells, so playing for picks right now is probably the best bet that Blaze EU has. We see Red Nose Rise. Let me make sure. Okay, I did close up the matchup page. Red Nose Rise up top in the family room balcony at the moment. Minute left on the clock. I think it's pretty unrealistic that Blaze EU wins this round at this point. What do you think?
Yeah, Blaze has just got to try to get 1 or 2 picks to get that money for their next round. It's not worth saving on a pistol round, but if you can get in there, get some of that money so you can set your team up better. But Velocity's definitely showing why this is one of their favorite maps.
Absolutely. 101 rounds played here, which is probably one of the highest we've seen on a VRML team. There's the 30-second warning as Red Nose Rise is going to have to make some kind of a move here. Apologies, we have a bit of lag. Hazel, however, will find that kill on Red Nose Rise, gives round one to Velocity Esports. Celebratory dance there from Hazel. Now, I mean, we see round two here. I think it's very likely that Velocity are going to pick up maybe one or two round two Vezins. You know, I would say Blaze would have to play for picks again here, just try and take out as many Blaze players Velocity players as they can. Is there a push that you think would work better? You know, would it be better if they went for bedroom or if they went for the family room push on the bathroom?
Yeah, if you go bedroom here and you try to play for some slow picks, you got to play together and make sure you can win those team fights here. Get a couple numbers down on the other team and then rush it and just get in there and see how fast you can hold the angles. But they're going to have to kill one or two players before they even have a chance of getting that bomb down. This team's just set up for them.
Absolutely, and we're getting into the next round over here. We see entry into the family room balcony as Superman starting things off with a very nice frag onto Beaver. I think actually went bowling there. We see a drone moving in for Blaze EU. I mean, Rip, you know, they're going for the family room here. Do you think they're going to try and put somebody in on the statics there and get that EMP planted?
Yeah, they're definitely going to try to blow the wall, get in, remove some of these statics, which is going to take a lot of time. Did see a drone going in there, although didn't get much information. But they hear the statics getting dropped, so they're already rotating, getting ready for this push.
Yeah, there's the foam as VR Zeta does find the kill on Hazel. It's now a 4 versus 4. 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. There's a frag way into the back of sight. And VR Zeta will take out Huckman. An impressive frag there from Velocity Esports. Landonia has returned, tossing a healing syringe over to Ran 6. We see a minute 50 on the clock. And Blaze is going to have to step up their push a little bit. They are going to get that EMP planted. Solid frag. That might catch Rise. It will. Landonia taking out Rise. Landonia finding a second as VR Zeta finding the kill on Rand 6. And it's now a 2 versus 2 down to Mr. Tabs and VR Zeta. But interesting part of this round is that they actually did quite a bit of damage to Velocities. We see Superman picking up the kill on VR Zeta. It's now just down to Mr. Tabs to take out Landonia and Superman. A minute 20 on the clock. And Landonia anticipating the push from Mr. Tabs to give this second round to Velocity Esports. So, I mean, Rip, you know, tell us, where do you think, what do you think went wrong there for Blaze?
They're playing separate and getting picked off. They're not watching their rear. Superman was able to rotate all the way around without them even noticing him. You also, that in play there, Mr. Tabs is going around the corner with his gun down. That is not a normal tactic you see. You want to be up and ready to shoot. If he's up and ready to shoot, he has a chance to get the headshot and maybe earn more money for his team. But they're going to be going down in this round, trying to get Vezins way behind. They're just going to need to play together more and play for those picks instead of rushing in one-on-one.
Absolutely, and on a full buy round, do you think? I mean, we know they should play for picks. Do you think they could stand to rush a little bit, or do you think it's just better to play for those picks and play it safe and try and make entry later into the round?
It depends on the team ego right now. If they're feeling themselves, yeah, rush in and try to get those early picks can definitely help out. They're buying a drone, so they're probably going to play slow off the drone.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely the drone gonna get that information again. And Legolo, thanks for pointing out that the names were wrong. Apologies for that. Made that mistake on the first round, but oh well. Such is the life. Oh my goodness! Wow, what a headshot on for Huckman to get onto Mr. Tabs there. 2.5 minutes on the clock, and it's a 4 versus 5 already. We're seeing just the power and the domination of that Velocity defense. Hyper taking out Superman, however. There's the frag, finding that static field emitter. They have to be careful for those trip mines. Hyper is going to take those out. They know somebody's in laundry right now. Landonia in the back of Kitchen, as it looks like it might be a 2-prong from Blaze EU. Last time they tried a three-prong, one from the hatch in Kitchen. Mr. Tabs tried to toss a frag up to the other side of the Kitchen island. We see a minute 50 left on the clock. It's a 4 versus 4 right now. If you're doing a 2-prong here, Rip, what is the... are you trying to take out the player in the back of the site? We see Hazel taking out the kill, taking out Red Nose Rise, will be refragged by Hyper as Huckman refrags Hyper. VR Zeta refrags Huckman, and Landonia refrags Zeta. So it's that kill chain there. It's now just down to Beaver Bells to 1v2 against Rand 6 and Landonia. We see a minute 15 left on the clock. Landonia will be picked up by Beaver Bells. He's looking to possibly recover the EMP, but Rand 6 swings out, finds the kill on Beaver Bells. That gives Velocity their 3rd round there. And, ultimately, if you were in that 1v2 situation, Rip, what would Beaver have needed to do in order to secure the win?
I mean, he played pretty well there, being able to catch the one guy off guard as he's rotating. The second kill, if you have a breach in charge, get that wall open, try to get you more angles, but he didn't have anything. So I honestly think he played it the best he could. It's just winning the gunfight at that moment.
Absolutely, and I mean, we see a big eco boost once again to Velocity. They're able to maintain those Vezins. Blaze going for some half buys. Zyda picking up the RCP. Hyper with the Viper. Interesting little rhyme there. I've heard that a bedroom push is a lot more difficult to execute than a family room push. So do you think it's a better idea for them to push family room right now?
Yeah, I'm usually prone to go family room myself. You can open it up more and try to play for those picks. Going through the front is a good option, but you just gotta watch. You gotta watch all the angles that they can sneak in behind you at.
Absolutely, and we see Hyper opening up that hatch onto the bedroom. We see Red Nose Rise, Beaver Bells on the porch right now. The last time Beaver Bells was caught by a frag, but they were at least able to make entry into the family room this time. Mr. Tabs drilling that door blocker down. You always have to be careful. Yeah, because Huckman going bowling. Almost finding Mr. Tabs, but those frags do have some strange collision physics. So we do see Mr. Tabs will walk out of that unscathed. Recovers the EMP. There's the breach, and there's the frag. As Red Nose Rise taking out both Hazel and Landonia, and a good start for Blaze EU. This push looks a lot more doable, but we see a frag toss. Oh my goodness, that almost found Rise. Mr. Tabs looking to get that EMP finish. They don't have another frag there. Huckman looking to swing up, finds the kill on Mr. Tabs, and will be refragged by Rise, who now looks to finish the EMP and will get that final charge in. It's a 4 versus 2. Red Nose Rise just in the back by the EMP with that Omen, getting ready to recover the Vezin. Superman picks up the kill on Rise, looks to push out into the smoke. And it's now a 2 versus 3 as Superman will go down to Beaver Bells. Rand 6 taking out both Beaver Bells and VR Zeta, and it's now just down to 1v1. Rand 6 against Hyper. Now the EMP has been planted. There's the 30-second warning. Hyper just in the window with the Viper. Rand 6 does get the heal across, looking for Hyper in the window. Now, Hyper doesn't have a direct line of sight, tossing a frag into the site, and Hyper with the amazing frag on Rand 6 closes out the round for Blaze, gives them their first round on the board. And Rip, I mean, walk us through that round. What do you think went well for Blaze that they were able to secure that first round?
Yeah, Blaze definitely surviving off their utility there. We see multiple frag grenades, and this is what they need to do. They're throwing those frag grenades in great angles, getting early picks two pieces, one pieces, able to get in there without even wasting any of their health points. You see the end, he uses a frag grenade as a distraction as he reaches around and actually gets the kill. If they continue playing off their utility, I think we're going to see a stronger team coming out. If they can get one or two more wins on this attack round and go into defense, I think we're going to see Blaze come out on top.
I think a big part of the momentum that they got in that round is that early frag, picking up the two in the back of Bathroom, and it just gave them, you know, the ability to execute the push that much better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Utilities play a big part of this game, from everything from the health syringe, frag grenades, flash grenades. They can open up a whole new play style if you've never used them before, and you got to learn angles, you got to learn bounces, you got to know where people are most likely to sit so you get those easy frag grenades.
Absolutely. We see Hazel over in Foyer at the moment, just waiting for some kind of a push from Blazy U. Hyper picking up the kill on Huckman. As we see VR Zyda looking for Hazel, does find the kill on Hazel, who just got a little bit too antsy at the beginning of the round. Beaver Bells opens up the storage hatch as they prepare that flashbang. It looks like Blazy U getting ready to push in. Here comes Beaver Bells, pre-firing the cabinets there, but actually nobody from Velocity was in the storage room right now. We see Hyper picking up the kill on Superman. VR Zyda taking out Landonia. It's now a 1 versus 5, and immediately we see that Blazy U have really picked up the pace here. Now that they have the Vezins, the util that they need, they know Ran 6 is over by Arcade at the moment, just in the big stairs hallway, but it's still going to be a very tough clutch here, as Ran 6 is going to have to ace the entire Blaze team in order for Velocity to win this round.
Yeah, Ran 6 might be better off saving right here. He only has 25 credits for the next round. He's not going to be able to buy. If he can get a kill, that's the best for his team, but it's not worth dying.
Absolutely, yeah. You want to kind of preserve that Vezin, especially because Ran 6 has some util, but Ran finding the kill on Beaver Bells, a second on Mr. Tabs, doesn't get the heal off, but really, I think this might be a best case scenario for Velocity, and Ran 6 might even try going and picking up a third here, but ultimately, I would call that a pretty good salvage from Velocity. They picked up the Vezin, and they got 2 extra kills as well.
Yeah, being able to get those 2 kills on your way out as you're trying to save definitely helps it up. He went from 25 credits up to 23, 25, so it definitely helps. You're seeing Velocity playing a lot more spread than they were in the first map, and they were in the first couple rounds of this. So they're spreading out, and that's allowing Blaze to push in as a team and have these 5-on-1 matches that they're ultimately going to win out. So we need to see Velocity start playing together a little bit more, not clumped up, but maybe stack up 2 people in one room instead of 1 person in each room.
Yeah, and do you think they might just need to keep it to 1 roamer instead?
Yeah, at this point you might even go no roamer just to try to hold that heavy defense. If you do have a confident roamer, let him do his job. If you can get in there behind him, obviously he can kill a whole team by himself. But you got to be really defense heavy. You don't want to give up any more rounds.
Yeah, definitely. And let me make sure. Okay, I did turn off the scoreboard there. I had a flashback to me leaving the scoreboard on for a really long period of time. But we see entry into the garage by Blazy U. They're looking to get that drone in there. I think Rip makes an excellent point. You know, you have to just kind of keep the team together right now. They're trying to keep a roamer in here, but they have to be careful that they don't lose their team. You know, they don't lose their important players too early in this round. We see Mr. Tabs picking up the kill on Superman, which is it's a rough start. Ran 6 finding the kill on Beaver Bells. It's Ran 6 tossing the Ensign and the smoke. Hazel finding Mr. Tabs as Velocity starting to find their momentum here, but Hyper will refrag Hazel as they do have the breaching foam on the garage wall. It might be a 2-prong, one from garage, the other from laundry. Yeah, I think they're anticipating that push right now. There's 1, there's 2, as Hyper looking for a player behind the kitchen island is going to force Ran 6 into that engagement. who does find the kill on Hyper, but will be refragged by VRML. It's down to a 2 versus 2. Both sides just really kind of exchanging players and util at this point. We see Red Nose Rise over in Laundry, getting ready to push. Finding that flashbang on Landonia and will pick up the kill on Huckman. Looks to get the EMP planted, and this would be the best case scenario for Blaze EU if they can get this to a 3-3 game. Landonia finding the kill on Rise, who looked to get outside the window, but I think ultimately that worked out much better for Velocity. A good retake.
Yeah, you just seen a lot of positioning errors on this one. Most of the people that died just got caught on either a rotation or sticking out a little too much. A lot of good trades in that map. Didn't see as much utility coming out of Blaze as I would like to see. Saw a couple frag grenades, nothing hit. Opening the walls, they got in. They were able to take the site pretty easy, but just couldn't hold on to what they had. Getting caught on the rotations. Superman dying early and getting caught in that corner wasn't very smart move for Velocity. You lose one of your key players off the bat, that never helps.
Definitely, and yeah, I think do you think that Rise at that moment should have just stayed in kitchen and tried their luck, or do you think it was worth it to run for the window and try and get outside?
I definitely believe he should have held there. He had the position. He knew where the guy died. He watched his teammate die. He had the call outs, I assume, from his team. So if he would have stayed, he would have had a better chance at beating that one-on-one.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see if Blaze can find those extra rounds here in the second half. But so far, Velocity off to a good start as they have that 2-round lead heading into the second half. Not quite as good as last game, but we'll see how Velocity plays their offense if they can play a little bit better than they did on Skyscraper. But of course, you know, they had 4 players for much of Skyscraper, so we'll see if they can keep up their defensive momentum into their offense. As we see Huckman opening up that breach into the gym, looking for the static field emitter. Beaver Bells just sitting on the box in storage, looking for a pick outside. It's a good angle, but you have to be careful because your enemy is often anticipating you. Their Beaver Bells just still staying on that box, even as the hatch into storage has been open. I don't know if Beaver Bells didn't hear it or not. It's pretty loud, but I mean, if we see a drop from Velocity, Beaver is basically gone. But we do see Landonia looking to push into storage, catching some shots from Beaver, who's checking over to the hatch. Actually, nobody from Velocity is on the hatch right now, so Beaver might be safer than we thought. At this point, Rip, what do you think this Velocity offense needs to do?
They need to time it and push in at the same exact time through the B and try to get this plant. You're seeing Blaze separated, so they could come in and start splitting them up. As you see Huckman coming behind, getting a kill on Hyper.
Yeah,
it's just picking the team apart right now.
Absolutely. Superman downstairs on the big stairs hallway, finding the kill on VRML. Mr. Tabs actually in very close proximity to Superman will swing that, finds the kill, and notices that Superman had the EMP, so that opens up a little extra piece of information for Blaze EU. They have the EMP. I mean, we could potentially see them finding some success if they can get that EMP defended, but ultimately it will still be difficult because they have to watch essentially 3 angles here: the arcade, the big stairs, and storage. I mean, it looks like they are switching up their position to move closer towards that EMP and guard it. There's the 30-second warning as Hazel and Ran6 double swinging. Beaver finding Landonia. Red Nose Rise taking out Hazel as Huckman will refrag Beaver, and Ran6 finds Red Nose Rise. It's now a 2 versus 1 as Mr. Tabs is pushing to arcade, finding both the kill on Huckman and Ran6. And what a tremendous tuck there from Mr. Tabs. And really, you see the value of the Cyclone full auto pistol, really able to help Mr. Tabs pick up that round.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the old days when the Cyclone was just the way to go. Close range, it's a beautiful gun. Tab's doing a great job of trying to retreat there and tucking in and waiting for them to push him. If he takes that fight on the 1v2, he most likely loses, but tucking in there gives him a lot of advantage as they pass him. You see the team Team Blaze, they're playing a little spread, but they are rotating quick to wherever they think the entry's going. Had a great positioning by both teams. Velocity moved in a little slow. They could have played a faster and probably caught off Blaze a little off guard on some of those plays.
In order to win this round, do you think that Velocity are going to need to push in aggressively, or do you think they should play for picks? Because Blaze does have two round 2 Vezins right now.
Yeah, for this map, this positioning for the bombs, it's usually better to play for picks. You can open up most of the A side and try to get angles in there, as well as the B side itself if you go in through the family room.
And we'll see what Velocity tries on this round. Of course, they do have that breaching foam. It's kind of a necessary utility for the comp scene, even for pubs. It allows you to open up those walls, and as Rip was saying earlier, it unlocks that new avenue of play, even just investing in utility. But we see Superman moving over to that site, a wall, getting the foam down on it, 2 minutes 20 on the clock. And there's the static field emitter, which Superman will take out. Looks like Velocity moving into the family room balcony. Ran 6 downstairs just on the counter flank, looking for any kind of roamer. Hasn't spotted anybody because nobody on Blaze EU is roaming right now. VR Zeta over by Globe as Huckman is going over to the death box. So it looks like Hazel and Huckman might try to double swing onto site B, while the rest of the Velocity team kind of keeps Blaze distracted. And we see Huckman finding the kill on VR Zeta. It's starting to work as Hazel now pushing in. Beaver Bellows looking for the push, but will be taken out by Hazel, who recovers that Vezin. And that's the strategy here. Red Nose Rise does take out Superman. Huckman finding the kill on Hypers. Mr. Tabs looks to assist. Now has to go on flank watch because Velocity are inside B. Mr. Tabs going for the swing there, but this fragmented defense from Blaze has really been affected by Velocity. However, Rise taking out Rand 6, Mr. Tabs finding the kill on Huckman. It's now a 2 versus 2. It's down to Landonia and Hazel. Hazel does have the Vezin, takes out Red Nose Rise. It's now just down to Mr. Tabs. The last member of Blaze EU standing does take out Hazel, as it's now just down to Landonia and Mr. Tabs. We might see Tabs rush Landonia here. The EMP is on the wall, but it hasn't been armed yet. And Landonia has had the ability to go for that Vezin and recover, and this could really hurt Blaze EU right now. We see 40 seconds on the clock, 35 now, and the EMP is, it was a bait from Landonia. 30 seconds on the clock as Mr. Tabs moves up over towards the boxes, just waiting for Landonia to make their move, and they're going to have to make a move at this point. Might have been better for Landonia to stake it, but Mr. Tabs finds the kill on Landonia to give Blaze EU the tie, the 4-4 game in this second half.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of gunplay there. It's coming down to aim. You're seeing body shots over headshots, and headshots are always going to win. You had players getting taken out with a bait. We had a player swing in, get the pistol kill, and as he gets the pistol kill, the other team comes in, and you're able to get a kill with your revolver. You've seen a lot of beautiful gameplay, but right now it's coming down to who has the better aim. There are a lot of 1v1 scenarios. Blaze just got to hold a little bit better. If they roam on that one, they might get a couple more free kills. But Velocity is stepping it back up and showing a strong attack.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Blaze EU picking up that round, tying up the game. So they're definitely bringing things back here. It is still going to be tough for them. They have a lot of work to do. As Velocity have shown a pretty impressive offense so far. It's been getting pretty close in all of these rounds, but so far, Blaze, you are doing an excellent job of playing defense. I think we're looking at a primarily a defense based team, they've done a lot better on their defensive rounds than they have on their offensive rounds.
Yes, I agree. The defense, like I said at the beginning, I believe this map is very defense heavy. So we're seeing a lot of strongholds. You're going to get another garage split here. So look for them to blow open the hatches and try to drop in.
Yeah, and just as Rip called it, there's the breach onto the garage hatch into storage as Velocity making their move. They're just kind of establishing in the garage right now, waiting for Blaze EU to make some kind of move. They know that Beaver is once again in storage, and it's pretty safe to say at that point Beaver was holding the same angle the last time these sites were downstairs. We see Mr. Tabs again at the big stairs hallway. VR Zaida is over in arcade right now, on the watch there for Huckman, and does secure that kill. Very nice pick from VR Zaida. And I think again, Rip, you had said that it was a pretty fragmented push. All the players on Velocity were just kind of off on different sides of the map. I think you're right that they just kind of need to form up here and push all at once to kind of throw off the timing and the positioning of Blaze EU.
Yeah, if they go in and they do a fast drop on that hatch, it throws off their timing completely. You're also seeing that Velocity's not using any frag grenades or any really utility items besides their heals in the breach. They did have a drone out earlier, but it got shot down. I think that's going to come back and bite them as well.
Absolutely, yeah. They don't really have a good way to instantly take out that static field emitter. I mean, Superman can shoot it, but ultimately that's going to require them to move their Vezin, which could give Hyper, just enough time to swing onto whoever's shooting that static, and ultimately it's going to be a battle of reaction time here. We see Superman just watching that breach. Hyper in the back of the fort. Yeah, there we go. Just as I called it, as Hyper does take out Superman. We see a frag tossed by Blaze EU. Rain 6 is watching that breach a little bit farther back. It's a 5 versus 3. 30 seconds left on the clock, and this push really hasn't worked out for Velocity. I think they know that Hazel over there with the Jesper and the heal, and they do have 2 Vezins up. I think maybe the best thing they can do right now is potentially try and recover a Vezin, but I don't even think they'll be able to do that on Velocity. Definitely hasn't worked out for them this round.
Yeah, if they can get another Vezin here and save, that's the best scenario. But going out with 2, you might see Hazel grab it. Oh, he barely missed grabbing it. That would have been a big kill there.
Heading into round 9, we see that Velocity, again, they were able to salvage 2 Vezins. Landonia picks up a third. It doesn't look like they will be able to get any more right now, though. So what do you think that's Velocity? I mean, I assume we're going to see another family room push. Again, do you think it's just a play for picks here?
At this point, they need to change up the tempo. They need to push in. They're playing way too slow, and that's getting them picked off. You're seeing them separate. You had people's dying on the other side of the map from the rest of the team. Can't afford to lose those early picks here. You got to push in, even if they're rushing with the team. Get reset and try to make something happen.
It's all about throwing off the pace of the other team. If they can do something weird to throw off Blaze EU, I think it would really work for Velocity. They just need to try changing up the pace here a little bit. As we see a drone moving into the family room balcony. I don't think they're going to do that again, though. They tried something new last game where they had 2 players move into the site B, and ultimately were able to find some success there. Have they noticed that trip mine there? Okay, they have. No! Red Nose Rise taking out Landonia, who swung onto those trip mines. Not a good start for Velocity Esports, as they lose a second. Mr. Tabs goes bowling and finds Superman this time. 2 minutes 20 on the clock, and there's the breaching foam on the site A wall. And ultimately, when you drill a door blocker like that, you're gonna give the opposing team a big invitation to throw a frag on you or swing on you. As we see 2 minutes on the clock here, Hazel does recover that breaching foam, but it's going to be difficult for Velocity to get in here this time. We see Blaze have taken the lead. If they win this round, they're going to get onto that match point there, and they'll, put Velocity on match point on their preferred map. We see Mr. Tabs taking out Hazel. A minute 40 on the clock as there's a frag toss that's going to keep Huckman out there, out of the site a little bit longer. Ultimately, it won't do too much damage. However, BlazeEU knows there's somebody there. Rise is tagged by Huckman as Rand6 does take out Mr. Tabs. It's still possible for Velocity to win this, but we see Beaver on the flank there, and this could create a lot of problems. They did get the EMP on the wall, and they tried baiting it out. Huckman taking out Red Nose Rise, but here comes Beaver on the flank, and if they're not careful enough, we do see Rand6 does go down to Beaver Bells. Wasn't anticipating the roam as Huckman goes for the chase, looking for the kill on Beaver, who's just able to get back into living room before Huckman can secure that refrag. A minute left on the clock as Hyper has pushed way up to the front of the room. Huckman swings, finds the kill on Hyper, and really Velocity are playing this very, very well. Zyda over on that death box in the family room balcony. Huckman finds that kill. It's now just down to a 1v1, and Huckman knows that the last opponent they have is Beaver. Question is, does Huckman know that Beaver is on the flank? Yes, Huckman does and is anticipating that. Gets the third charge on that EMP, and Huckman has quickly turned this around for Velocity. Goes for the swing and finds the kill on Beaver Bells. Don't count Velocity out of this yet, because they've just tied it up again, and with this extra eco boost, they could stand a serious chance at going for match point in this next round.
Yeah, this was a big round by Velocity. We should have saw Blaze win that map. They got multiple utility kills right off the bat, but Velocity comes back fighting hard, able to win some really good fights there, being able to see the flank coming, not getting the kill. It did save the other members of the Velocity team. Again, Velocity just push in, be strong, and you can still turn the tide of this whole game.
Yeah, and ultimately a great clutch there by Huckman, who had the positioning on lock there at the end of that round, dealing with each threat in an organized manner. And ultimately, do you think that Beaver made the wrong calls sticking with that flank?
No, I think he did a good job with the flank entirely. If maybe move a little bit faster. He was slow on the second time he came in for the flank. If he pushes up a little faster, the guy knows he's there. He should know that he knows he's there. So you just got to play it a little bit faster and try to catch him off guard with your pace.
Absolutely, and we begin round 11 here as we see Hazel with the drone moving into garage again. Once again, we see a pretty spread formation from BlazeEU. Beavers again back in storage. The positioning is not has not really changed that much here. We see Rand6 heading over to Winesell. I mean, they continue to try these similar pushes here. I don't know. We could see it work, but ultimately, I think at this point they're going to need some kind of a rush here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very normal push that you will see in most of the Pro League matches. Getting this split, most teams will usually drop in a lot faster on that top breach though, and try to clear out as you allow your other teammates to swing in. Velocity's just playing really slow. It has worked out for them a couple times though. So we'll just have to see what they can do.
Ultimately, Velocity on a bit more of a morale boost from winning that last round. They do get a lot of damage in on Beaver Bell, so good frag toss. But Mr. Tabs tossing that syringe over. However, Huckman will secure the kill on Beaver. Hazel taking out Mr. Tabs. And really, I think at this point, Blaze has tried the same strategy a couple of times, so I think Velocity are now adapting, and they're just anticipating where the positioning of BlazeEU is at this point. We see a minute 10 on the clock. They were able to establish into storage. They did get breaching foam on that storage wall. VR Zyda getting ready to swing onto Landonia, who picks up the kill on Hyper. Zyda finding one, finding two. Good double kill from VR Zyda right there. who picks up, who does get refragged by Huckman. We see a 3 versus 1. It's now just down to Rise, who's in the back of Jim right now, looks to find the kill on Huckman, but is getting swung, from 2 angles, and has the third angle there from Boiler, where Superman is about to swing. Huckman might push up and does, and Superman will ultimately find that kill on Red Nose Rise to give Velocity Esports match points on Hideout. And I think what we saw there, Rip, was just a perfect counter from Velocity.
Yeah, Blaze stuck to the same exact placements as they had already 2 other times where this Velocity picked that up, and they were able to push in and pre-fire the corners that they already knew they were in because they didn't change anything up. And in that instance, Velocity playing slow there and going for those picks just worked out perfectly, as they were able to go in and clear every single member of the Blaze team. Velocity is definitely going in off the hype and looking at winning match 7 right here, or round 7 right here.
And remember that if Velocity does win this round, they're already on match points. So if they do get a win here, they will win the entire series. They're certainly looking better in terms of weapons and utility. They've got the 5 Vezins that they need. They got the utility. Compared to BlazeEU, who are running 3 Vezins and 2 RCPs and a Cyclone. So they've really just kind of squeezed their economy dry here. 2 minutes 55 seconds on the clock, and Velocity getting ready to push in. They go for that upstairs frag. Mr. Tabs finding the kill on Superman. Where did that kill happen? Oh, it was down there. Yeah, it was a good play upstairs from Mr. Tabs. Ran 6 looking for that roamer here. Again, if BlazeEU does find a win here, ultimately it will result in a 3rd map. The drone will go down as Huckman looking for some shots through that table there, but some good positioning from Rise. As we see Rise picking up the kill on Huckman, just intercepted Huckman, who was running through that table. And ultimately, Velocity are in a pretty bad spot right now. They've got 3 players up. Hazel's very low on health, and this hasn't gone well for them at all.
Yeah, Velocity should have picked up a little bit more utilities. You only see them grabbing 1 frag at the beginning. I think that could have changed a lot. Blaze doing an excellent job of setting up crossfires on these sensors.
I don't know how Hazel didn't get hit because those shots were just right above Hazel's head. We see Beaver in the back of Site B, just waiting for a Velocity player to push the Laundry door. There's a frag into the back of Laundry. Red Nose Rise swinging out, kind of jiggle peeking. That Hazel might find a kill here if Rise gets a little bit too eager. Beaver is on the receiving end of that kill. As we see, there's the breach into Garage. Ran 6 at the back, looking for one of those BlazeEU players. They do only have 2 Vezins up compared to the 3 of Velocity. A minute on the clock means that Velocity don't have too much time here. They've got Hyper over in A, as their 2 Vezin players are in Garage right now. So this is a pretty good spread here. We see Landonia pushing through Garage, now up to the breach. Tabs just behind the bomb, looking for Landonia. But we'll just rotate into the back of the site there. We see it looks like they're getting ready for that push into Laundry. Hazel finding the kill on Rise, and things are starting to shift into Velocity's favor. There's the breach as Landonia with that cloaking device looking for the kill on VRZida, who swings, finds the kill on Hazel. Landonia picks up the kill on VRZida, finds a second on Mr. Tabs, and it's now just down to Hyper, who's got the Cyclone against Ran 6 and Landonia, and it's fallen apart quickly. But can Landonia get that EMP planted? Is going for it right now. 10 seconds left. That's enough time to get it planted. 9 seconds. But if Hyper can find that Vezin and take out Landonia, no, the EMP got planted at the last second. Ran 6 is the last defender there. Then Hyper takes out Ran 6. We'll get the EMP defuse, and we're going to see a 3rd map.
Yeah, Hyper just pushing in and going for it, which is the only thing he could choose to do there, and he ultimately wins out that 2v1 situation. Amazing. You see Velocity trying to stall for time, playing slow. Had been working out for him did not. Hyper just pushed in and made his own luck.
And that was a tremendous comeback from Hyper, who's just taking a victory lap around the rest of the map. And I mean, just, yeah, played that so well. You had to, Hyper was timing it out, waiting for that, timer to go off, but the EMP was planted, so that turned time in favor of Velocity Esports. And at that point, Hyper went for Landonia, found that kill. It was down to Rand 6. And ultimately, Hyper was able to push out and find the kill on Rand 6. And Rip just broke all that down, so I don't know why I had to go over it, all over it again. But a great game from both teams. But ultimately, Blaze EU tying it up, securing a third map here. So, because they tied it up, that means that Blaze EU can no longer win this set. The only thing they can do is tie it up by winning this final map. But if Velocity wins or ties this final map, at any point, if they get to 6 rounds, they will automatically secure the win here, because Blaze EU has not scored a single series point. So could go either way, as we're waiting for one more from Blaze right now to connect. And we may cut over to a little intermission right now. I think we will go ahead and do that. So we will see you in about maybe 10 minutes. But if they start up, we'll come back a little early. So we'll see you then.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Welcome back to the VRML. I'm, again, your host, Gibular Bob. I'm joined by Rip the Cord as my co-caster. And we also have our analyst who will be joining us later here, Cooper. And currently, we are starting things up immediately on Map 3. Again, Blaze EU versus Velocity as we head into the final match of tonight. We've seen Map 1 go to Velocity. Map 2 was a tie. Map 3 Factory could go either way. Both of these teams have pretty similar data here as we see a breach getting ready on the storage hatch on that roof. 5 Spectrals in the hands of Velocity. 2 Cyclones, 2 Spectrals, and a Jesper from Blaze EU who are starting off on the offense once again. And we see Rand 6 looking for some shots. Here comes the breaching foam onto the blue vending's wall. It's Beaver Bells, Hyper, VR Zeta over by blue hallway at the moment. A frag is tossed in. Rand 6 picking up a lot of damage here. Huckman just prepping that frag. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock as Rise just rotating back out to the roof. And we see it looks like it's probably going to be a 2-prong onto the storage, one from Cubby, the other from Blue Vendington. There it is as we see Mr. Tabs looking for Rand 6, who's just kind of stubbornly sitting in the back looking for those Blaze players and just slowing down their push as long as possible. We see Hyper taking out Hazel. Here comes a frag tossed by Velocity. And that will get a lot of damage on Beaver. Huckman looking to blind fire over the partition. Moving in as the EMP has been planted. And Huckman will find Beaver Bells, but it's too late. Blaze are already heading up to the roof. And VR Zeta tucking, but walking right in, or excuse me, Huckman will walk right into the Zeta. Red Nose Rise taking out Superman, Hyper, and Mr. Tabs up on the roof. On that hatch as Hyper will take out Rand 6. Huckman finding the kill on Hyper. As Mr. Tabs will refrag Huckman. Landonia finding Red Nose Rise, and it's now down to a 1v1. Mr. Tabs against Landonia. There's the 30-second warning on the EMP, and Mr. Tabs just has to play this very, very carefully. Ultimately, Landonia's only hope is to bait out the EMP, which will force Mr. Tabs to make a move, but they're starting to run out of time as we're getting close to the EMP defusing the bomb. Landonia is going to have to make a move here, and you just see Landonia looking for some shots, but ultimately there's not enough time for that EMP to defuse, and time will expire as Landonia just looking to loot the teammates, but ultimately Mr. Tabs recovering 2 healing syringes and picking up this first round for Blaze EU.
Yeah, Blaze playing really strong. They're able to get in, get the bomb planted, and get to that roof right away. That hatch play is one of the best plays you'll see in the game. It's if you hold it, you can easily win out the round, as we just saw. Having the health syringe, he was full health. He wasn't afraid to play back and wait for the time. Again, we're seeing Blaze go heavy utility, which we were talking about during the intermission. It seemed like when Blaze went for heavy utility, they won that round. So it might have a pattern going. Hopefully Velocity can pick it back up and hold a little stronger.
Cooper is joining us as our analyst here today, and Cooper, as the owner of Blaze EU, how is their factor? Are they better on the defense, offense? How do they work here?
Right. So they're mainly you know what? That is a very good if I can speak today. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, so they are a very defensive team, and they're very, very non-aggressive, So yeah, let's see how this round plays out here.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Cooper.
Cooper.
Storage push here. Beaver finds the kill onto Huckman. That's a big push.
Here we go, Mr. Tabs picking up the kill on Hazel's. Landonia will pick up the refrag on Mr. Tabs. Beaver Bells finding Landonia. The EMP will be getting planted by Beaver Bells. It's a 2 versus 4, and Blazy U off with an explosive start here. Ran 6 making their way through electrical, finding their way into workshop right now. We see Beaver Bells and really the rest of Blaze have done an excellent job with this orange storage push. I mean, we see Superman just on the flank there, but ultimately, I mean, Rip, you know, what is the best bet for Velocity right now?
Yeah, Velocity, they're splitting a lot, and they just got to time two of the peaks together, and they might be able to get a kill, but you see that Rise gets a kill there, and then Zeta finishes it off, so...
That was not a, yeah, but honestly, I'm not sure about that swing there. That was not really a smart move to swing into triple coverage with the Cyclone. Very interesting choice, and we see 2-0 for Blaze right now. And the full economy from both teams, Vezins and Strunzes for the leg.
Yeah, ultimately, I think we've seen a lot of strength from Blaze on the defense today, but I mean, they've done an excellent job so far on the offense. So, Rip, I mean, do you think we're gonna see that storage push and the 2-prong onto site A again?
Yeah, they've been a team that's been doing a lot of the same pushes and same holds as we saw in last map. So I definitely expect them to repeat what they just did.
Yeah, they found a lot of success with that, and we're getting ready to go into round 3 here with Blaze U starting off on a strong lead. Now, Velocity, they were able to get those Vezins this time. Hazel with the Taurus. There's the breach onto storage as we have that drone moving into the blue hallway. We see Beaver Bells moving into blue hallway as Huckman finds that kill on Mr. Tabs. Will be refragged by Beaver Bells. Hyper getting that breaching foam on the cubby wall as we see Ran 6 almost getting taken out by that frag. 2.5 minutes left on the clock, and Blaze EU have done an excellent job so far. I mean, Rip, do you think they're going to play for picks here, or they're going to push in and try and get that EMP planted?
Oh, they just got another kill there on Superman, so they're about to get ready to push. They're going to start getting up together, and as I said, they're pushing in and playing the EP.
Looks like they're going to go for that hatch play again, which could really work out, but Hazel finding a double frag onto Zyda and Hyper, and it's now just down to Red Nose Rise to get up on that roof as fast as possible and prevent Velocity from defusing that EMP. They're sticking it. They're trying to stick it. Ran 6 finds the kill on Red Nose Rise, and ultimately this round will go to Velocity. And I think it just kind of fell apart at the end of the round there for Blaze EU.
Yeah, but what a kill there by Hazel. And I believe he snapped onto Rise. So yeah, just what an insane kill there. But now 1-2 this match.
Yeah, so I mean, Rip, in order to get control, over their loss, Blaze EU, what do you think their plan's going to be here? We're on the second floor. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it yet on this map. So if you're Blaze, where are you pushing here?
Yeah, we're going. If I'm Blaze, we're going from the top. We're going to try to get both hatches and clear out A and try to drop in. Interesting.
Yeah, A has become, kind of the easier site to push here. We've seen a lot of teams. I guess the preferred site to push is where I'm going with this. We see a lot of teams pushing this particular site. Superman goes bowling, finds some damage on Mr. Tabs. A good anticipation by Velocity, but Beaver Bells finding that kill on Hazel via Zyda over on Gravel right now. It looks like it is going to be that Site A push, and Rip made a good call. They're going for that hatch. They're going to get that open and try and probably toss a frag down into the server. That's a very, very common play. Red Nose Rise. There it is. And actually, unintentionally, that bounced into a better position. There it goes into server, but nobody was there for Velocity, which worked out a little bit better for them in the end. 2 minutes 20 on the clock as we see Huckman looking for some shots into upper orange. Huckman taking out Mr. Tabs with a trip mine, which, you know, again, we've seen a lot from Huckman today. We see 2 minutes on the clock as Superman downstairs in orange hallway. And rip, I mean, we're seeing some good shots here, but Huckman taking out 1-2. VR Zeta finding Landonia. And at this point, Blaze EU, I think they might need to play for picks here.
Yeah, play for picks. If you can get one more, then push it in as 2v2. But yeah, it's not worth continuing after that. Last player, just save and try to hold on for the next round.
Definitely. Blaze EU starting to lose a bit of their momentum here. They had 2 strong opening rounds, but it hasn't worked out for them in these 2 previous rounds as we move on to round 4 here. We still have a couple of rounds left in the opening half, but ultimately I think, you know, we're seeing faster pushes from these teams.
Yeah, Velocity's been changing up their pace a little bit too, as they are able to hold on really tight for Blaze. Seeing a couple Blaze members fall into utility there, which Velocity was not using utility as strong last map, but they are this map. So that's changing up a lot of what we're seeing. Yeah,
we see Zeta just has actually moved into orange Vennies. I think I don't know. I mean, Zeta might be moving for the the picks there, but I don't know. I think it might just be a better idea to salvage the Vezin and have that extra money for the team.
Yeah, this is kind of a risky play here. I mean, risk reward as it is, you could definitely get in there and try to get the 2 kills, but if you die, you did nothing for your team here.
Yeah, I think Zeta kind of is thinking the same thing as they're heading up to the roof. 15 seconds, 10 seconds left on the clock, and I think we're going to see another round from Velocity here. They've done an excellent job of just keeping Blaze EU out of the sights. They met them, you know, on the upstairs flank with a very strong response. And Cooper, you know, what do you think we're going to need to see from Blaze EU in order to keep them competitive in this first half?
So, from Blaze, I think that they're just a bit too I guess, fast-paced, you know. So I think they have to, I guess, slow it down just a bit, and let's see if that will work out for them. But I believe they are on a bit of a save round with 3 Vezins, a Cyclone, and possibly a Viper coming in from Beaver Bells. So I'm gonna be surprised if they win this one, because Below full stacked on that utility, full Vezins, full syringes, with a few back as well. So let's see how this plays out for Bliss.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not the worst loadout for them. They were able to put together something pretty strong. We see 3, like Cooper pointed out, 3 Vezins. The Cyclone and the Spectral, from Hyper and Beaver, but ultimately they do have that utility that they needed. There's the Breach onto storage, as we see 2 static field emitters that will probably prove to be a bit pesky for Blaze. Look at this Hyper dropping onto the table, and I think this is a pretty confusing angle for Velocity. If they head into the site there, Hyper might definitely throw off somebody right here. We see Hazel over in lockers right now. Looks like it's again going to be that push onto the Cubby and Blue Vendings. And we, Hazel, last time through that frag that caught 2 Blaze EU players. Hopefully they're anticipating that this time. They've noticed Hazel is over there in lockers. And I mean, we see Rand 6 in Cubby, so there's the flash. That's going to get Rand 6 a good swing in from Viosida, unable to secure the second, though, as Huckman will find that refrag. We see a minute 50 on the clock. Mr. Tabs now moving into Site A. There's the incendiary as Mr. Tabs finding the kill on Huckman, who will take out Mr. Tabs from beyond the grave with a frag. It's now a 3 versus 3. And we see Hazel over in lockers. Hopefully, Blazy, you haven't forgotten about Hazel. There's the flash, but it doesn't catch Hazel. It's a minute 30 left on the clock. Hyper finding Hazel as Beaver Bills does get that EMP planted. I think you know what we're going to see here, Rip. Yeah, we're going to see that hatch play. But Superman intercepting Beaver Bells. And we see that 1 versus 2 here. It's down to Hyper. Last time we saw Landonia finding the kill on Hyper, and this time Landonia finding that kill on Hyper yet again. So a good round from Velocity. I mean, Rip, you know, what did you see there from Velocity that really brought them the round in the end?
Yeah, they're getting their utility kills. They're using utility a lot more, and that's backing off the Blaze team. Also, Blaze kind of playing a little bit too fast, slow it down a little bit, get those picks. But Velocity's doing a good job of spreading and then coming in on the entry points wherever they see Blaze coming. And again, using that utility is such a big thing in this game, and it's paying off with it too.
Yeah, and a good round, again, from Velocity and Cooper. We're starting to see Blaze fall back a bit here. They've now lost the lead to Velocity. Do you think they still need to slow down the push, or do you think it's time for them to just kind of full send it into the site?
You know, honestly, it is, that is a very good question. Let's see how this goes, you know. Honestly, I'm not really too sure on that, but yeah, let's see how this goes. Round number 5, coming up right here.
Yeah, we've certainly seen a good opening from Blaze EU, but yeah, I mean, you know, what we saw on Hideout is that teams really needed to, you know, change up the pacing of their attacks, and, you know, they would find a lot more success if they tried some different things. We see Hazel tossing a frag over to the front of Orange Storage. Not going to find a kill there. We see an Ensign toss, and it does hit the top of the box there, but that's not the only thing. So I'd say Velocity's burned a bit of their util early here. We see Hazel pushing out of Orange Storage. Finds the kill on Beaver Bills. Will be refragged by Hyper, but Huckman finding the kill on Red Nose Rise through that wall with the Marui. Ransix takes out Mr. Tabs as Hyper finding Superman. And, you know, Rip, you and I were talking just during the break about the Marui, and how about that? We actually saw it used here when it doesn't see too much love in the comp scene.
Yeah, again, it's a gun that the players aren't used to using that much, so unless they train on it, Hyper gets a kill on Huckman here. Unless they train on it a lot, you're not going to see them bring it out. They're used to the Vezin. They're gonna stay the same.
Minute 40 left on the clock as VR Zeta heading up to the printer's window. A minute and a half left, and it's down to Ransix and Landonia against VR Zeta and Hyper. And really, we see Landonia playing center. They do... Where is the... Okay, the EMP is in the hands of Hyper at the moment for Blaze EU. We've got a minute 15 left on the clock, and we're going to need to see some kind of a push. And I think, Rip, what we're seeing here is they're going for possibly the drop through Killbox into Site A through that hatch.
Yeah, is the hatch already open? Because we do not have a
charge,
do we? Oh. All right, yeah, they could drop in, and could be a fast-paced play here if they decide to drop in, but they're playing really slow, making sure all their areas are cleaned. And we saw Velocity already use up most of their utility, so Blaze does have an advantage here, as they don't have to worry about the utility as much.
There goes the frag, and there it is, the full send as Hyper will drop down, finds the kill on Ran 6, but not before Ran 6 finds VR Zeta, and Landonia picking up Hyper to give Velocity a 4-2 lead heading into the second half. And I mean, walk us through that. You know, Rip, what do you think gave Velocity the power to win that round?
I mean, Rand 6 getting the kill on the drop right there, getting that trade, definitely saved them. If Rand 6 goes down unchallenged, you have a 2v1 situation. So it comes down to Rand 6 predicting the play and being able to at least trade off with one of the players and allowing his teammate to take that 1v1.
Cooper, we're taking a look at the starting eco here. What do you see from both of these teams?
Well, we are okay. So let's see. We're seeing 2 syringes from Blaze. Very interesting choice on this first pistol round. We're also seeing a few Spectals and Cyclones from both teams. So very interesting eco from both teams. So let's see how this goes here. And yeah,
we're
round number 6.
Starting off on round 7 as we get into the pistol of the pistol round of the second half. There's the drone moving into lockers right now. That's going to spot Hyper. Now, Blazy U on the defense this time. Here comes Superman dropping the hatch, and we're seeing immediately right off the bat, Velocity are opening up with some pretty strong pace here. Hazel just jiggle peeking that partition of the lockers. There's a frag toss that almost catches VRZita, but ultimately Hyper is the one picking up the damage here. Hugman getting ready to swing Hyper's Landonia, finding VRZita. Hugman is taken out Hyper. Mr. Tabs looking for a frag through there, but that's not going to find Hazel. 2 minutes 10 left on the clock, and it's a 5 versus 3. And ultimately, Rip Velocity definitely have the power in this round. What do you think they're going to try here?
Yeah, Velocity's probably going to buy a little bit of time here and then push in last second. And we've seen them play slow in the past, and it's worked out for them. So I see them stalling out some of the time and then pushing in when they think the other team's not expecting it.
Yes, Superman Landonia in blue hallway at the moment. Looks like they're going to get ready for that maybe the 2-prong once again, but it's kind of completely stopped the push. Do you think they're just anticipating some kind of a roamer?
I don't know if they're anticipating a roamer. I'm not seeing anyone kind of cover the outsides that much. They're not watching their backs. I think they're stalling for time so they can get in here and throw them off.
Definitely looks like that's what they're doing. Superman still in blue hallway with that EMP, but Mr. Tabs will pick up some damage from Hazel. Red Nose Rise tossing a frag out, almost catching Superman with that. But good movement around the box from Velocity as Hazel taking out Beaver Bells. It's now a 2 versus 5 down to Mr. Tabs and Red Nose Rise, and it's looking difficult for Blazy U as Hazel finding Red Nose Rise. Now just down to Mr. Tabs, who's over in Generator, and the EMP has been planted. And don't forget that if Velocity wins this round, they're going to put Blaze on the danger zone, meaning if they win one more round after this one, they will win the entire thing. Again, all they need is match point in order to win this, because Blazy U did not win map 2, they only tied it. So realistically for Blazy U right now, they gotta win every single round after this, which can be quite difficult to do. I mean, Rip, if they want to get that done, what do you think they'd have to do? What would you do if you're in their position?
You just gotta change up your pace. Maybe enact the roamer a little bit better for the defense, but you're about to switch sides. So Blaze is going to have a tough job for them either way. It's going to come down to changing their pace and trying to throw off Velocity. Velocity is just reading every play that they're doing right now.
And just pointing out, at the end of that round, Mr. Tabs picked up a very, very solid double kill on Velocity. It's going to damage their eco a little bit, but they do still have 3 heals. They will be able to get some rifles here. So I think a pretty good recovery from Blaze, but of course, they can't lose another round after this, and I think it's dangerous because they only have pistols right now. I mean, Cooper, they've only got pistols here, so do you think their best bet's to just kind of slow down Velocity as much as they can?
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, there's not much you can do with those pistols. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be a loss for Blaze here, and we're probably going to enter into that match point. But, we'll see.
Anything can happen, though. I mean, we've certainly seen. I know it's actually, funnily enough, it was the older guys that have multiple times, recovered against the team when they were on an eco round. They took out multiple Vezin players. So I think if a team can execute well, they can definitely, find that momentum that they need over the other team. But right now, Rip, I mean, we're not seeing anybody in Site A. Do you think this is an oversight from Blaze? From Blaze?
Yeah, it's going to depend on how fast they can rotate here. You're not covering the A site. They're most likely going for it. But Blaze is going to be playing really cautious, like you said. They're playing with pistols, so they have to go for picks.
And there's the breach onto the hatch in kitchen. Here comes the drone, and yeah, I mean, they just got to play this so safe. Perhaps their best bet is a decent site retake. Now, fortunately for Blaze, there is only one rifle on Velocity right now. They only have 3 other Spectrals and a Taurus, so their biggest threat is Huckman. If they can find the kill on Huckman, oh my goodness, Hazel catching Hyper with a very good frag. We see the breach onto Site A, and to Rip's point, it's all about how fast you can rotate into the site. Mr. Tabs finding Superman as Hazel still on gravel. A good roam from Mr. Tabs. It's a 4 versus 4 right now. Again, we can't, Blaze EU, they can't lose this round. A minute 20 on the clock. But Rip, downstairs, we see Mr. Tabs. Could Tabs find this pick on Huckman?
Yeah, Tabs is going to try to come up real slow. Right now, it's just all about stalling out and playing for time as much as possible. He might actually get 2 kills here if he plays it right.
Oh, man.
Huckman sees him.
Yeah, just the anticipation of some kind of a roamer. Very, very good foresight from Huckman as we have less than a minute on the clock. So we do have to see Velocity get in there and plant at some point. Landonia does have the EMP, looking to get that on the wall as Hazel finds Red Nose Rise. It's now a 2 versus 4. Beaver Bells just looks at the wrong spot, looks to swing on Landonia, finds some damage, but Landonia will pick up that kill. VR Zeta finding Hazel. It's now just down to VR Zeta to 1v3 this. It's possible, but certainly it's quite the challenge here. As we see VR Zeta moving into the kitchen right now, getting cut off by Rand 6. And there you have it. That's match point for Velocity, which automatically gives them the win. Of course, we'll still stick around because we like to see the end of the games over here on the VRML. But, I mean, Rip, ultimately, I think Blaze just didn't have the positioning there to get them that round win.
I also think it was probably a confidence issue. You're down 5-2.
Yeah.
You're definitely not feeling great going into a pistol round against a team that's already been destroying you in all the Vezin rounds. So the confidence is low. You got pistols, so you got to play your distance and try to get those sneaky kills. You're not going to win a 1-on-1 with a Vezin. So definitely a fun match to watch. Anytime we go into a map 3, it's always a good game. But Velocity just showing they're a little bit stronger tonight.
Definitely. And I mean, Cooper, this could be the closing round, but we do see 4 Vezins from Blaze EU. You think they could potentially bring this back?
Well, we could see them mount a small comeback here. I mean, the game is it is not over by any means, and we could still see a small comeback.
Here comes the full send into the hatch, and there's the aggression as Red Nose Rise finding Hazel Hyper, taking out Rand 6. Mr. Tabs takes out Superman as Beaver Bells finding the kill on Huckman, and it's now just down to Landonia, the last member of Velocity standing. Red Nose Rise will take out Landonia, and yeah, I mean, we just see the aggression here, and I mean, at this point, I think Velocity is just trying to burn rounds as fast as they can.
Yeah, definitely. And also, Blaze, they know it's over, so they're going to be a little bit more aggressive and just try to get some rounds to look better. But that was some great gunfights that we just saw right there. They just completely capitalized on velocity. So,
it's almost like they needed this, earlier in the game to actually enhance their gameplay. I mean, we saw the aggression there from Blaze EU, and they just have, they know they've lost already. So I think ultimately, if they tried that, those aggressive strategies before, maybe they would have found a little bit more momentum. But ultimately, a big portion of that was also velocity, just full sending it into the hatch, kind of with reckless abandon. They're picking up Canuts now. So, I mean, it could be, it's probably a mixture between the two. But, I mean, if you're Blaze right now and you need to pick up 3 more rounds, I guess they just need to stick to their sights at this point, because velocity is just kind of in a conga line.
Yeah, if I was coaching Blaze, I would definitely try to give them a little bit more aggressive plays so they can rotate their pace. That's one thing they fell short on, is a lot of their plays were the exact same from round to round. And if you have a team like Velocity, they're going to see that and they're going to read you. And that's ultimately what they did. They read those plays. They said, "Oh, hey, you sat in this corner last time. Let me see if you're there again." And they get the kill with a grenade or an early pre-fire. So adding more arsenal to Blaze's team can only help them.
And here comes the rush into connector. I think they completely threw off Blaze EU there, as we see a 3 versus 2 quick string of kills. VRZida actually dropping 3. Hazel recovers that Vezin, as it looks like Velocity are just going to try and end the game here. Hazel finding Hyper, looks to pick up a second, finds 2. It's now just down to Superman to pick up that last kill, secures the heal and the Vezin from Hazel, and it's just down to this 1v1. VRZida definitely has their work cut out for them, but Superman currently heading over to the door blocker. Oh, and there's a proximity alarm, so VRZida might get ready to just swing out there. And ultimately, I think that the rush from Velocity actually worked out for them. They were able to secure some kills that they needed and then recover Vezins, which actually helped them out a lot.
Yeah, anytime you change up your pace that quick, it's going to be a game changer, and no one's ever ready for that kind of rush. Who can expect everyone to come in one door? It's a strategy you see every now and then, but doesn't always pay off if a team's ready for it.
Definitely. Superman rounding the corner back into the breach, as we see VRZida just in the back of the site, waiting for Superman to swing out, find some shots on Superman. Is just down to this gunfight right now. Zida looking to bait out some shots from Superman. 45 seconds left on the clock. Superman does have the EMP, but Zida just sitting in the back as Superman is actually pushing up right now, crouch, waiting for Zida to swing out. And this might actually be a good trap from Superman. 30 seconds on the clock. Superman's going to have to make a move here. I don't think Zida is expecting Superman to be right in that corner, but actually heading around towards the left, just out of the line of sight. And Superman, they might catch each other off guard here. So we see 10 seconds left on the clock. Superman goes for the pre-fire swing. I think that caught Zida very off guard. And Superman will swing, finds the headshot on VRZida to give Velocity eSports their win tonight. And they've done an excellent job securing this win. And Rip, I mean, in the end there, what do you think was, something that Velocity did tonight that was really just kind of better than Blaze EU all around? I'd say adaptability is probably my thing.
Adaptability is a big thing. Also, watching down to the gunplay, reaction times, Velocity is a little bit faster reacting than Blaze is. So Blaze has some work there on them as well. Aiming, I did see Velocity hitting more headshots than I did Blaze, but I think adaptability and being able to read your opponent's place is the biggest advantage for this game.
Yeah, and Cooper, it's got to be a tough loss for Blaze EU there, the number 2 team in the EU. It's probably going to send them down a little bit, but do you think they're going to be able to come back from this?
Well, I think they are. See, I believe Velocity is 11-1. So they are the best team in EU right now. And they certainly showed why tonight. Why they are the best team in EU.
Definitely, and that is going to do it tonight for us at the VRML. Actually, we do have some more games coming up later in the day. So you'll see me. Let me head over to the match page. You'll see me again at 9 tonight with I Blame My Aim this time for Formula 3 versus Restart. And at 8 o'clock p.m. EST, you will see Vanguard versus Wicked, and that is hosted by Martini and another one of our new casters, Gravix. And by the way, just a big thank you to our 2 new casters that have joined me here, Rip the Cord. It was a pleasure co-casting this game with you, and Cooper having you in as the analyst. So big thanks to both of you for joining me for this cast. And of course, we would like to thank, for one last time, our VRML sponsors, starting off with VR Cover, which offers high-quality hygiene and comfort solutions for popular headsets. And VR Cover's face cushions greatly enhance the comfort of any VR device, allowing you to play in VR comfortably for longer. You can use code VRCoverQ3 for a discount on Quest 3 products. We'd also like to thank Helga, the manager bot, which helps with availability, scheduling, communication with opponents, and statistical analysis. And if you'd like to get started, you can join their Discord linked in the chat or on the VRML Breachers/Onward website. We'd also like to thank HyperX, and you can get 15% off MRSP off of fully priced HyperX products in North America using code HXVRML23. They also supply some products to our prize pool, now over $9,000 in cash and hardware, and they supply some casting products for our casting department for some of our top casters in the season. So, in season 2, if you see, Rip or Cooper enough, maybe they will win the casting package from HyperX. We'd also like to thank ProTube VR for providing the best VR rifle mounts and VR accessories. You can help stabilize your aim in-game by picking up a MagTube stock. You can put your controllers into cups that magnetically connect to a fully adjustable stock. Or if you want to add to the immersion, you can check out the Force Tube with haptic feedback to enhance any virtual shooting experience. With a variety of other products ranging from Beat Saber to joystick mounts, ProTube VR is your one-stop shop for controller peripherals. Next up, Exclaim, the official VRML merch store, which also provides some merchandise for our teams as well. If you're interested in an exclusive store-wide discount while supporting the league, consider affiliating with the VRML via Exclaim. And finally, Triangle Factories, the developers of this wonderful game, Breachers, they contribute a wonderful amount to our prize pool. Again, $9,000 in cash and hardware, and they, in addition to that, are also providing the VRML with 2 gun skins, one that you can purchase for credits when it comes out, and the second will be awarded to the top 8 in each region. That's going to do it for us tonight over at the VRML. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing EU matchup between these 2 teams. Congratulations to both teams, but an extra special congratulations to Velocity Esports for picking up another win. That's going to do it for us. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you later at 9 EST. Have a good night, everybody.
VRML is brought to you by Triangle Factory. HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.